Hello, Internet, and welcome to Nick Relics, the retro video game show where I give you my 2-bit opinion on these 8 through 32-bit relics. Today, we're going to talk about the shoot-'em-up that started what is likely the most successful baka-ge franchise in video games history. And no, it's not Bravo Man.
Hey, the original Bravo Man game! I haven't played this in years. I guess it is appropriate. Let's give the old girl one more spin.
Clearly, because Bravo Man is not a shoot-'em-up. Or successful.
I'm Dr. Bomb.
Ow! I died already? This game sucks!
It's an acquired taste.
No, today we're looking at... That's right, Cho Aniki, the sensational doot-'em-up developed by Messiah for the PC-Engine Super CD-ROM and released in 1992. This is the first game in the legendary Big Brother series, which includes Cho Aniki, Cho Aniki Bakuretsu Ranto-hen, Cho Aniki Q Kyoku Muteki Gingai Sai Kuro.
He's speaking in tongues, Lois. Our son is possessed. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
Okay, clearly this series is very Japanese, like one of the most Japanese things to ever come off the island, up to and including dango dumplings, vending machines that sell, well, practically anything, and aerobics videos that teach you English.
I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea.
Cho Aniki may be a pretty bombastic doot-'em-up, but its gameplay actually sticks pretty close to the standard shooter formula, playing similarly to Gradius, R-Type, or any other number of horizontal shmups. You can collect power-ups in the form of protein pills to give you a bigger load.
Share the load, share the load, the load, the load.
And bombs that are a bit weensy, but you do have options.
But more about that later.
The plot revolves around the evil Bo Emperor Bill, or Boteibiru, who is the winner of 10 consecutive Great Galaxy bodybuilding contests. In the wake of his achievement, his world, Planet Builder, was facing a protein shortage, which inspired him to invade neighboring star systems to enslave their citizens, forcing them to build protein factories to help keep him swole. In response, the Heaven Realm sent their champions, Idaten and Benten, to vanquish Boteibiru and stop him from turning every other planet into his own personal protein factory.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
This is precisely the kind of story you want in any baka-ge. Ridiculous yet cohesive. Instead of a ship, you can choose to control either Idaten, a caped muscleman who runs through the air, or Benten, a flying blue-haired woman. To aid them in their quest, Idaten frees the Muscle Brothers, Adon and Samson. Before becoming the series' mascots and the protagonist of Cho Aniki, Adon and Samson served as support characters alongside Angel and Unini. These 4 characters act as satellites to Idaten or Benten. Whichever main character you choose, they can each unleash their own unique special attack by releasing the fire button after holding it down for a few seconds. Idaten fires the mighty Men's Beam, and Benten is armed with this useless lightning thing.
Yeah, that's not great.
Despite that, your satellites will always fire the protein-powered Men's Beam. Well, usually.
Nani?
While doing research for this video, I actually discovered that your satellites will not fire or use special attacks if your PC Engine is connected to a multitap. I'm guessing this is so that you and a second player aren't ludicrously overpowered. But as far as I'm aware, Cho Aniki does not feature a 2-player mode. At least, not one that I could find, even with 2 controllers connected. This makes me think that perhaps they planned for 2-player support and then decided to ditch it. Playing on an emulator like RetroArch will also configure the system as though it was connected to a multitap. So your satellites are much weaker for absolutely no good reason.
Lame.
Bombs and Cho Aniki are a different story. See, I told you I'd get back to that. By default, hitting button 1 will launch a bomb, as is the norm with most PC-Engine and TurboGrafx shooters. However, you could do something to toggle between launching a bomb and sending your helper satellite on a kamikaze mission. I've been playing with it, and I can't for the life of me figure out how to toggle between the modes. If you know, please feel free to write me at
I don't give a crap at who cares, you stupid dipshit ass.net.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Please tell me. Cho Aniki might have come out in 1992, but it boasts some incredible visuals for the time, which includes giant bosses that fill the screen, parallax scrolling, and a myriad of colors and sprites moving at a constant frame rate. The only real performance issue I found was with some minor sprite tearing here and there, but it's nothing that'll make or break your experience. If you've played Cho Aniki, you'll immediately notice that your player sprite is a lot smaller, which means so is your hitbox. It's a nice change of pace, but despite that, Cho Aniki is actually a harder game than its sequel. I've got to tell you, when I started playing this game, I was a little bit shocked by how pedestrian everything looked. Sure, those big copterhead things with the grinning faces are here, which are quirky.
But that stuff wasn't really gay.
There is a very noticeable lack of the Speedo-wearing muscle boys and homoerotic imagery that the series is known for. Stage 3 is when the crazy stuff really starts coming out, like these Saturn V rocket guys, inverted mermen, and this dude who is, how do you explain what this guy's doing?
Jacking it, jack, spanking it, jacking it, spanking it, smack.
If I had started playing these games in order, the ramp up to Cho Aniki would have been a lot less shocking, but until NEC develops a time machine, it is what it is.
If I could turn back time.
Joining the enemy forces of musclemen, giant robots, and giant floating chess pieces in space are a myriad of boss fights. Cho Aniki takes a page out of Darius's playbook and treats you to a host of imaginative and fun-to-play boss fights on each of its 5 stages. My favorites of which include the Stage 2 mid-boss, Sol Capriccio, which looks like a boss straight out of Sega's Fantasy Zone. Okay, look, that's a me thing. I love Fantasy Zone. Talk to me about Fantasy Zone sometime. And the crazy ghost samurai thing at the end of Stage 1. But my favorite and most Cho Aniki boss out of all of them is Shell the Aniki, a mid-boss from Stage 4. It starts out as a sexy Parodius-inspired girl in silhouette, which is quickly revealed to be a buff dude, a motif that they would repeat in later entries. With 3 or more mid-bosses in each stage, Cho Aniki definitely plays like a boss rush game, which breaks up the gameplay nicely. The music is one area where I'm a little bit torn. I love the quirky Parodius-style tunes throughout, and I enjoy the lighthearted samba fusion stuff. There's a real comedic quality to the music that screams, "Don't take me too seriously!" Woohoo! Why, hello!
Why do you talk that way? I had a stroke!
Which is perfect. But I can't get the incredible fist-pumping music from its sequel out of my head. Again,
If I could turn back time.
if you too would like to witness the primordial soup of the Cho Aniki series,
You see this? This is you.
you can grab an original copy to play on one of the myriad of Super CD-ROM systems that NEC and Hudson released. Or you could go back in time and pick up a copy for the North American Wii Virtual Console, the first time this series saw an official release outside of Japan. For those of us living in the present, however, we call them Nowies. This game has just seen release in the Cho Aniki Collection for the Nintendo Switch in December of 2024, which includes both Cho Aniki and Cho Aniki, as well as scans of the original instruction manuals and a rewind feature to keep you from having to start levels over again.
All that and a bag of chips.
So, what do I think? Cho Aniki is a deceptively simple game. Despite its quirky music and goofball visuals, there are a lot of advanced mechanics at play that set it apart from other shooters of the time. The super attacks for each character add some technical variety to the standard shoot everything, grab power-ups, and drop bombs when things get hairy gameplay that you encounter in most shmups. myriad of quirky bosses add a grand scope to what would otherwise be a very silly experience. That's why I'm giving Cho Aniki for the PC-Engine Super CD-ROM 8 reps out of 10.
Oh boy, mail.
Here comes a new challenger!
It's time for the Retro Nick Mailbag, the part of the show where you get to be heard. Here's what you had to say about my review of Under a Killing Moon for MS-DOS. Ray Ray is happy 1567 quipped,
I came for the feet, but I stayed for the nostalgia. Great vid.
Thanks for the kind words, Ray Ray. I know lots of people came for the feet.
What?
Justin Lucero 6982 remarks,
Like, that Elephant Man costume and the Party Rubble joke killed me. All in all, that game looks fun and interesting. Zoinks! There's almost a Lovecraftian noir to it as well. With the right team, it could be revamped into something grittier or darker, Scoob.
I totally get the sentiment, but I wouldn't make Under a Killing Moon any darker than it already is.
My stool is dark, and Doctor says that's bad. I don't know why he thinks he knows so much about interior decorating, though.
I also got a note on my video for Splatterhouse 2, where West Mansion founder Dyer51 reached out to say,
Thanks for the West Mansion shout out. I've got another interview coming soon with the director of both Splatterhouse 2 and 3.
Well, gentlemen, you have my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
As usual, I want to give a major shout out to my friends over at Retro Game Squad, who you've heard from in my review of Street Fighter the Movie for the Sega Saturn, and whom you might have met at Super Mag Fest 2025. You can hear me on their show from time to time, where I always try to bring the weird Japanese stuff. You can find their show at RetroGameSquad.com or follow them on X with the handle @RetroGameSquad.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you so much for tuning into Retro Nick Relics. If you like this video, please be sure to slap those like and subscribe buttons, and tune in again to find out what I dig up next. I'm Retro Nick.
And you'd be too if you were me.